Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Speaking of Diamonds. This is another installation of DP 101. We have talked about um, what basically diamond paintings are, a little bit about the basics of how to do them, what comes in the kits. So let's look today at a couple things that you may want to consider when you are shopping for diamond paintings. So when it comes to diamond paintings, there are two general rules that I believe apply in every situation. Number one, you get what you pay for. And number two, size matters. And we will explore those as we go through a couple sites here that we're going to look at. And take a look at some diamond paintings, see if we may want to buy them, some pitfalls we may come across. Okay, so first of all, where do you buy diamond paintings? Well, first of all, you could go to your brick and mortar, like a Michael's craft store or any craft store, or you could look at their website. In this instance, here I'm at Michael's website, and I searched diamond painting, and this is what came up. Um, and Michael's happens to have their own brand called Make Market, and they're pretty good quality. I've seen several reviews of Make Market, and they're pretty good quality. They even sell some diamond art. Uh, let's see if it'll be. I don't know if it'll be on the first page here, but they even offer some Diamond Art Club canvases, as well as a couple other companies of canvases. So you could search through here and look. Let's see, is there a, let's see if there's a brand. Here we go, brand. Here's all of their brands that they have. This, I don't know a lot of these. I don't recognize Citrus or Green Tech, but there's Make Market. What's going on? Make Market. Um, This is Sparkly Selections. I don't know why um, I would have clicked on that, but here's Diamond Art Club. Figured art, I do recognize. Um, Riolis, I recognize. Diamond Dots, definitely. Uh, Leisure Arts, Camelot Dots. Camelot Dots is sort of like another version of Diamond Dots. But there's some, Leisure Arts is another company I recognize. So there's definitely different companies that they sell through their retail stores. And obviously the selection online is going to be much more vast than what you'd find in the store. Typically, when you go to a Michael's, you're going to see the Make Market kits, and that's it. You're not going to see the other companies. Those are typically only on the website. There may be a couple, especially if something was returned to the store, but yeah, typically you're going to see their store brand. There is even, like I know if you choose to go to Hobby Lobby has their own brand. The name escapes me. But so you can go to brick and mortar. You can also go to a variety of other online sources. So you have Amazon. Amazon has a bunch of diamond paintings out there. And a matter of fact, Diamond Art Club, which is probably recognized as the largest diamond painting company, yet it is still a small company in the scheme of things. But they have a shop on Amazon. And if you didn't know that, and if you're new to diamond painting and you want to focus on getting smaller, beginner-friendly canvases, that's what they have on their Amazon site. But then they also have their actual site. Let's see, here's another one, the one with the diamond art. This is based out of the UK. And you even have a number, a myriad of places on AliExpress, including this one store which is called Evermoment. Um, and they have pretty good quality. The Evermoment official store on AliExpress, but we'll take a look at this in a little bit more detail. Here's, let's see, here's another place, DP clubs. We're going to talk about that in just a little bit. And I am going to sort of lump these retailers into different categories as far as quality and I guess maybe ethics. Um, but I digress. We'll get to that in a second. So that's where you can find diamond paintings pretty much all over the internet. You have your brick and mortar. So that's where you can find diamond paintings. Now, a couple things you want to consider or know about when you are shopping for diamond paintings. Primarily, diamond paintings are measured in centimeters because diamond paintings are created in China, and most of the world uses centimeters and not inches or feet. Um, However, sometimes when you're looking at specific, like US specific companies, it is in inches. So you just want to make sure that you are reading it right so that you're not shocked by the size of the painting you receive in the mail. So, for example, here we're looking at Make Market, and this is for Michaels. Michaels is a store based in the U.S. Um, uh, and here they're showing that this is a 16 by 20 diamond painting, and with the two uh, quotes after each of the numbers, I know that they are expressing this in inches. So this is 16 inches by 20 inches. When you go to Evermoment, for example, you can see that they have everything is centimeters. So you also probably want to have in the back of your mind a quick conversion of centimeters to inches. And what I have is at my desk, I have a little post-it note. And what I have is I have some sort of milestones, if you will. So I've written down that 30 centimeters is a roughly 12 inches because usually it's 11 point something, but roughly 12 inches. 40 centimeters is 16 inches, and 50 centimeters is 20 inches. So I know that if something is 50 or 60 centimeters, it's around 2.5 feet. Um, because it's 24 inches, around 24 inches. So you just want to make sure that you are aware when you are shopping for diamond paintings if they are expressing the size of the diamond painting in inches or centimeters. Now, I will say a lot of companies do not help you out in this. Uh, they sort of trick you a little bit, and I don't know why they do this, but it's something that I've noticed, and actually something that I've fallen victim to in the past. So let's just look at this painting that we're on right here. Now let's look at this painting. This painting in this picture, can I blow this up? I can. Here we go. This picture is hanging over what looks to be a couch in front of that's has a coffee table in front of it. You know, it looks like this is a very nice size piece of art for your wall. And if this is your aesthetic, maybe you want this hanging over your couch. But let's be very clear, for $33, you are not getting a huge, I mean, this thing looks like probably 6 feet by what's a couch, like 4 or 5 feet, 5 feet, 6 feet, something. If you look here, the largest they offer is 60 by 100. So that's basically 24-ish, 2 feet by 100 would be 20 inches. So 40 inches, or 50 is 20 inches. So 100 inches. So that would be 20, 46, or 12, 24, 36, 48. So it would probably be, um, I don't know, a couple feet tall, which the tall size here is may make sense with this picture, but the width certainly does not make sense because, like I said, 60 is only about 2 feet, and couches are typically um, wider than 2 feet. Matter of fact, pillows are typically around 12 inches, maybe just a little bit bigger. And look at there's like they are showing you the pillows, but they're not together. So you know that the largest painting here, 60 um, centimeters, is just about 2 feet. So it really should be these two pillows would be together. So really, the painting is only about from this corner to here. Okay. So they have optical illusion sometimes. And like I said, I don't know why they do it, but you just want to be conscientious. You want to read the sizes before you decide if you're going to buy something, especially if you're buying it for a specific spot to hang up or for a gift or something like that. So I'm going to come back here to Michael's, and another consideration that you want to consider when buying diamond paintings is the drill shape round or square. And the reason I say that is because sometimes people are very particular that some people only do rounds, some people only do squares, some people will do both, what have you. My preference is squares, and that I should say my strong preference is squares. So, unless I am absolutely in love with the artist or the artwork itself, I'm probably not going to get a round kit. So here you can see that it doesn't say anywhere up here if it's round or square. So we have to go down and look in the description. And here it's telling us there are round gems, sorted by shade. Thank you. And there's 49 colors. So in this instance, I probably, this is a cool image of some skeletons. I'm not going to do this in round because I prefer squares. So you want to make sure that you know if it's round or square. The second thing is if it is a full or a partial. And I think we've talked about this before, but basically, if we were to look at this picture, um, first of all, you can hover over it and you can sort of see on the render. This is the render image. And what the render image is this is what it looks like basically on the diamond painting grid. Okay, so this is what your final image is going to look most like once you get the diamonds applied. Now, here you can see the little sort of grid lines everywhere. Um, see if I can. It's not going to let me blow this one up. This is as big as we're going to get, but you can just sort of see the little grid, the little dots everywhere, the symbols all over. So you can deduce from that that this is a full coverage. If this was a partial, um, perhaps they only want you to put drills on the skeletons. So what you would see is the skeleton would have a bunch of symbols and glue, but the background, the sky, the trees, the moon, the flowers, whatnot, perhaps they just print that on the canvas and you're not going to put drills there. There's no glue, there's no symbols, and you don't have enough drills to, even if you wanted to apply glue, you don't have those drills coming with the kit. So important to note because the finished product is very different between a full and a partial. Because here, if this was printed, if the background was printed on this, it would be super vibrant. Um, I mean, just look at the image here on the box. Um, I really wish they would let me blow this up, but purple, pinks, dark, white, a printed image is much more striking than typically what a diamond painting is going to look like because a diamond painting is just going to be more pixelated. So that's one way to know if it's a full or partial. Or again, in this instance, they don't have it in the title. So we can come down to the description, and here we can see it says full canvas coverage. So I know that this is uh, a full diamond painting, not a partial. All right. So let's talk a little bit more about renders. Okay. Um, most companies will give you or present to you a diamond painting in one size. Okay, most places one size. So here we have Michael saying this is a 16 by 20. What they're basically saying is we have looked at this render, we've looked how this picture translates to diamond painting, and we believe that a 16 by 20 canvas is going to be large enough to give you good detail and not too small in order to make the picture blurry or illegible. Okay. Um, like I said, size does matter. So typically, if you have a lot of details in your painting needs to be, your canvas needs to be quite large. So in this instance, they've said that 16 by 20 works out best. And you can see that they really, whoever designed the image, this is going to turn out probably pretty well, um, because I can tell from this render. However, when you go to some other companies, let's go back to Evermoment. Now, I'm going to say that I order my customs from Evermoment because they have really good quality canvases. And a matter of fact, um, some of our small shops use Evermoment's parent company as their supplier of their diamond paintings. Um, and it's sort of interesting if you ever get one from Evermoment, you see what the drills are like, you see what the canvas is like. You may be like, hey, this is just like this store. And chances are it may be actually their canvas. So a couple things here. So first of all, we talked about the optical illusion, right? Um, they're offering here in many different sizes from 30 by 45 to 60 by 100. So basically 12 inches wide to about 2 feet wide. Okay. And many places in between. They're also offering it to you in square or round. So they are, stores like this really appeal to diamond painters because they could decide if they want a square or round, and not a lot of shops offer that. And here's why. Diamonds, the drills themselves are different sizes between round and square. So basically you have to have a rounder or a render for square and a render for round. Now, when a small company, or I should say a non-manufacturer, sends their manufacturer an image and says, we want this rendered for squares, they're going to say, okay, that's going to be a couple $100. And then if they say, well, I want this in squares and rounds, they're going to say, okay, that's going to be 2 times several $100. Okay. So it costs money to get the images rendered. So a lot of stores will make the determination of squares versus rounds, and they will base it upon what works best for the artwork. Which brings me to Diamond Art Club. So Diamond Art Club, they did try at one point offering the ability to let people choose between round and square. And not only did it sort of mess with the quality of the image, but it was probably also a bit of a logistical nightmare, to not only have to know like what painting people are looking for, but now they have to know, are they looking for round or square? So what they do is they pick, um, when they do a painting. I'm just going to go to the new releases here. This one was sort of interesting. I sort of liked this image. Didn't like it enough. I wait list or put it on a wish list, but not purchase. But this is sort of a cool image, and here's our image. DAC has a cool little tool that you could pull up the render just by sort of moving the slider. And so they're showing you this is a 65 by 92 essentially centimeter painting. Okay, so that's a nice size painting. Um, but they're telling you that this is what they think, this is the size that they think that this canvas needs to be in order to look its best. They've also selected square diamonds because there's a lot of detail in the tree here. You would lose that if you were to perhaps choose rounds. So you sort of have to, I know it's frustrating sometimes. Like you'll see on release days, if you ever look at the Facebook uh, groups and the chat and the Facebook groups, why are there so many squares? Why are there so many rounds? There's no squares. There's no rounds. I mean, people go back and forth because there's literally these two camps of people that are round versus squares, which is fine. But again, you just need to realize that Diamond Art Club has artists on staff that are going to look at this and assess whether what size it should be and whether it should be round or squares, and they're going to do whatever they believe is going to turn out best. Okay, because you wouldn't want them to sell this to you as a round kit and then you do it, you're like, I can't see the leaves of the tree, it's like a red blob maybe. um, then it's going to be a bad customer experience, right? Because they didn't render the piece correctly. So I'm sure their artists are very well paid, and that's what they pay them to do, is to come up with what is the best size and shape of diamond the uh, uh, for the image. Now, how do you use a render? Well, obviously you can see, basic. Up here is, why is my thing not working? Here we go. Here's and this is even tell you rendered square artwork, but this is what it's going to look like when it's, most likely going to look like when it turns into a diamond painting. What I typically do to see how good a render is I will pick out a specific spot of the painting and I'll look at it in image and then in the render. So we have this guy. So this is light and dark in equal parts. So there's two guys. Weirdness here, whatever these are in the costumes. So here we can see the guy. Okay, he's got an antler. He's wearing some type of cloak. We can even, when we look at it without magnification, we can see a cloak. We can see antlers. Probably not the face. All right. Let's go ahead and see what the render does to this guy. Okay, I still see a cape and I still see antlers. So that's pretty good so far. Let's really get in here. Yikes. What is that? When you're looking at a render, you have to consider that diamond paintings are meant to be viewed from a distance, just like mosaic, just like cross stitch, just like pointillism artwork. It looks better from across the room. And that's how you're going to be viewing it. Here, what you're able to zoom in is just to see, okay, what are they doing? What did they do with the stars? Okay, what did they do with, how is the tree? How confetti heavy is it? Like, how much am I going to be changing colors? That's what's meant to this uh, magnifier, to get you a closer look at exactly how they're laying down the drills and stuff like that. But in this instance, if I'm looking at this from a viewing distance, most likely I'm just going to know that there's a guy, he's got on a cloak and he's got antlers, and that same is up here except everything is black. Okay, so you may or may not think this is a good render. Okay, that's your personal opinion. Let's go back to let's see. A lot of times these images they render great because it's not a natural image, so it's a lot easier to render. So here the render, this is almost exact. This is a very good render, but typically your cartoon type images, or your um, not cartoon, I don't want, that makes it sound like it's childish, but your not natural images are going to be really good. Let's look at this beach. Okay, so we got some flowers, we got pine tree that we could see the fronds on the pine tree. We can see the waves crashing. We can see sort of the thatch on the roof. Okay, I still see palm fronds. I still see the thatching on the roof. I see the waves crashing. Let's go back. Okay, so look at the flowers down here. Okay, look at them without magnification. Now keep your eyes on them. Those translate pretty well. Now, what they did do is here in the original image, they sort of had the suggestion of a reflection of the trees, but in the render, they left the suggestion. So you may be looking at why are these dots here? And either it's going to work with your eye or not, that these are reflections of the trees. Um, but that is going to be why you may be like, why am I putting these dots here? Look at the bush here in front of the house. See how it's like pink, then it goes up to orange? What does the render do? Well, it does go to orange a little bit, but to me, in my eye, the render looks a little bit more just like a big purple bush as opposed to a short purple bush and maybe something behind it. So the renders can tell you a lot about an image. Um, Now, let's go back to Evermoment. The reason Evermoment can offer you this variety of sizes is because they are the manufacturer. They can print it however large they need to print it. They have the printer, they have the drills. They're going to offer you the buffet of various sizes. You're not going to see this on a lot of sites. Now, what I don't like is if I click on a 30 by 45 square and then a 60 by 100 round, the image is not changing. Okay. Matter of fact, they don't even give me a render. So I don't know what this painting is going to look like as a diamond painting. And I'm going to tell you right now, there's a vast difference in any painting, but probably this one very much, between a 30 by 45 square and a 60 by 100 round. Okay. They really should be able to give you a render for each size and shape. Now, I've never asked Evermoment for a render, but some companies will absolutely provide it for you. Matter of fact, let me go to um, who do I want to go to? I want to go to the one with the diamond art. So the one with the diamond art company based in UK, small company. They have some great artists. If you have ever heard of Josephine Wall, she has some very beautiful images that are known for their intricacy. They have Josephine Wall canvases. They're typically large because of all the detail, and they're very confetti heavy because of the detail. Now here, in a lot of their older images, they only show you one render, and but they may offer it in multiple sizes. Okay, what they've started doing though is they've started adding their renders, like the different sizes of renders. They've started to add it to the shop. So I want to just take you through how size affects a diamond painting. So this is their 60 by 60 render. I want you to focus on one spot at a time in the diamond painting. So I'm going to go back and forth with the various sizes a couple times. Um, Maybe keep your eye on this here. Like, what is this? Like, is this a hanging fish? What is it? Or watch the bows and the presents, or watch a specific ornament, okay, or this ornament up here. Okay, so keep your eye on a specific spot. Now, the one with the diamond art has done as they've started putting these various renders up there, it becomes very apparent which one you may want to purchase. So this one looks like a Christmas tree, looks like ornaments. It's great. Here's a 70 by 70. Let me just go back really quick. Let's just look at this thing. This thing is probably the most the difference. So look at it there. Now look at it in 70 by 70. It's sort of taking on some clarity. Your ornaments are much more, they look much smoother, rounder, because there's more surface area to put the colors down and put a gradient down to make it look round. Let's go up. This is 80 by 80, I believe. Okay. Now I'm seeing with this hanging thing, I'm seeing, okay, this is some type of weird shaped ornament. Is it maybe a tree? But it has like a pink thing here. It looks like a circle, maybe a bead or something. Your boxes are much more crisp. Your ornaments are much more crisp as well. Let's go to the 90 by 90. Even more so. I'm getting here suddenly, here I'm getting like a swirl on this ornament. This one is becoming even more clear, but the presence, everything else is looking a lot clearer as well. This is 100 by, do they just keep going up? Let me just look here. 100, yep, so we got two more. So this is 100 by 100. So pick out your image. This is 100 by 100. Here's 100 by 20. And here's 150 by 150. Now look at this thing. Look at this, look at these two ornaments here. Not only do we have the shape, we sort of always had the shape, but now we can see that there's texture on this item. We can see that there's a swirl on this um, uh, on this ornament. Matter of fact, there's a swirl here, it looks like, on this ornament. Okay, those are and look, our bows, you could totally make out the bows. They look crisp and very bow-like. Let's go back to 60 by 60, the smallest, and now look at, again, look at the bows. Look at these images. You don't see a texture. You don't even see the swirl, okay? But then if we go up again, the 150, this is like really clear, all right? So what does that mean? You have to buy the 150, so 20, 40, 60 inches each way diamond painting. Well, if you want it this clear, yes. But um, the 120, this has a fair amount. You know, we start to see the texture here. Maybe you can do that size, or perhaps you want to choose this size. And here they typically don't have it on this specific store. They don't have the different render for round or square. So it doesn't matter which one we're looking at. This is the render that we have. But just imagine that the round drills, you see a lot of the background, so you're going to just see colors highlighted by the drill, and then the shape is on the canvas. Whereas with the full drills, since they cover the entire canvas, the image, the colors, the shapes, everything are on the drills themselves. So your ornaments are going to look much like this one, like these do here. They're going to be pixelated around the edge because it's squares making up a circle, right? But rounds will definitely serve circular items much better because it's going to be a smooth circle at that point. But I think this image can definitely show you that size does matter, and that as you increase in size and price, so let's look. 60 by 60 is $57. 150 by 150 is $222. So huge difference. And typically, So round and square are the same, but the minute you start adding on ABs, looks like it's $2 more. Pearlescent shimmer is $4 more. And here for both of them, it's what is that, $5? What was the original? I forget. 229, 220, $7 more. Okay. So when shopping for diamond paintings, and there's also, let me just make this clarifying statement. There are some people that just do diamond painting strictly for the mental health benefits, the relaxation, the relief of depression, to get their mind off of things, to get their mind off of pain. If you're not going to be putting the image up in your house, if you don't really care how it turns out, you could buy the smallest that there's out there, and you're just going to go through the action of diamond painting, and you're going to get the mental health benefits. However, if this is something you want to hang up in your home, or you want to give as uh, a gift, or just appreciate a crisp, clear image, you need to probably go a little bit bigger if they offer different sizes. But also, a lot of people say, "Oh my goodness, Diamond Art Club, $53, $73, $63 for a diamond painting. That's way too much. I can't spend it." Well, understand, like this one here is a 56 by 56. Okay. So that's a third of this image. So 56 times 3 is what, 160 some odd dollars. Diamond Art Club is not that far off from this small company, okay? That's sort of the going rate. Now, if $53 is too expensive to pay for a diamond painting, especially those that you just want a diamond paint, you don't necessarily care if it's super crisp or what have you, you can absolutely, I support 100% buying budget kits. So let's go to Amazon first. And here, um, this is Diamond Art Club. Their kits here are much more affordable, but they are much smaller. So here, for instance, this one, Sailing Away, it's $25. Is that better for your budget? You may want to check out the DAC Amazon store. Does it only have to be DAC? No, it absolutely doesn't. There are so there's Diamond Art Club. Dreamer Designs is another larger company. You have Diamond Dots, which is another company. They specialize typically in round. They have a lot of round canvases. They just now started larger square images. But you can go to any of those sites and look to see. Dreamer Designs is probably cost-wise comparable to DAC. And when you go to a smaller store, you need to consider that there are a smaller store. They don't have the advantage of scale. So their prices may be a little bit higher even. But it's very important to support those small businesses, because those small businesses, some of them create amazing canvases, and they have some amazing artists. Artists that, DAC doesn't accept a lot of artists. They will, you know, say no thank you. Whereas it could be a perfectly great image. People want it. So if they go to a smaller store, that smaller store may be more apt to accept it and sell their image. So um, budget kits I support, especially if you're just looking for the benefits of diamond painting. Okay. Just understand that you are not going to get the quality of a DAC. So, like, let's look at this one here. We have multiple sizes, 60 by 60, $68. Again, pretty comparable to what you'd pay at Diamond Art Club. But you only have a budget for, let's see, you only have a budget for $30, and this is as close as we're going to get. Get the 35 by 30. Okay. or even the 30 by 30. Okay, get it. Because if you are doing it to get the mental health benefits, I want you to get the mental health benefits. Okay, don't worry about size. Don't even necessarily worry about quality. Just know that your canvas is not going to be probably as soft or supple as it should be. Your drills may be more trash prone. The glue may not be as sticky as you need it to be. So you need to consider those things because here's what I see a lot. People say, I can't spend a lot on diamond painting, so I'm going to buy the 20 by 20, $24. I can afford that. Fine. Perfect. You go. You do you. But then they're going to complain, well, I can't really see the image. Oh, you know what? These drills are horrible. This glue, it doesn't. It's like my drills are sliding on the glue. You need to consider if you're doing diamond painting for relaxation, mental health benefits, if you are getting frustrated with the project that you're working on to get relief from those mental health issues, are you then causing yourself a different kind of frustration and you're just replacing a frustration with another frustration? Okay. So you really need to answer that question for you. Now, are all budget kits bad? No, absolutely not. Some companies do it really great. Some images look fine as smaller canvases. You also have mini canvases, which are the little minis like 5 by 7. Those you could work on. There's even some companies that offer like 20 by 20s, uh, um, which would be about 8 inches by 8 inches. Okay, um, and they specifically like they'll have like it'll be the sun, or it'll be a bug, or it'll be a flower. Like so, they're purposely picking out something they can make very large in relation to the size of the canvas, and have it still turn out well. Okay, so you get what you pay for. Now, lastly, well, there's two controversial subjects, somewhat controversial. The first one is AI, and let me just get that off the table right now. There are people who are staunchly oppose AI. They don't want the artist to use AI whatsoever. There are people who don't care. Here's the deal. Almost every artist out there uses AI at some point in the design of an image. Okay, unless they are painting on canvas, unless they are drawing pen to paper, if they're using a digital device, if they're a digital artist, which a lot of them has switched over to using digital tablets and things like that, they may be able to use a little bit of AI, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. For instance, let's look at this image that's up here on the screen. You got the castle, the river, the moat, or whatever that is, with the walking path, the trees, and the skies in the background. Okay. The artist may have just painted the canvas, the moat or the water, the walking path, the tree, and then they said, AI, give me a sunny, cloudy sky with a rainbow, or even looks like maybe a double rainbow. And then they kept refining that image until they got the image they want, and boom, they have their background. So is it really, so what are, is that cheating? Well, yes and no. It's like sky is sky, right? But the castle, if this is perhaps modeled after a castle that they visited, or is in the country in which they live, they're focusing on the castle, not the sky. Okay. Now, again, some people say, no, I want them to do the entire thing, and that's fine. Then you need to make sure that you are fully vetting your companies and your artists for the use of AI. So let's go back to DAC because they have a good. All right, so this is Claudia McKinney. She has a number of diamond paintings out here on DAC. DAC does a very good job at disclosing if the artist uses some type of AI, and they do so in this paragraph down here. This artist might have used generative AI to create this design. Please note, Diamond Art Club requires that artwork be significantly hand edited, as we do not accept pieces created entirely by AI. So in that instance, perhaps Claudia came up with the elephant and then said, "Give me a bunch of flowers around the elephant." And then AI gave her something. And then she went in and put in brush strokes. She went in, maybe changed some colors, put in some different patterns, things like that. As long as she has altered the AI imagery, DAC will accept it. A lot of companies will either tell you in their About Us area, like, we don't support AI, or when you are in a, a shop, if there's no disclosure like this, you can typically click on the artist's name and it will bring you to just a little bit of a description, I guess, like an intro, a bio. So here she lives in California, she's got kids, um, uh, and digital artist who incorporates AI into her stunning fantasy digital pieces. Okay, so she uses AI. If it still doesn't, give you that information, what I would do is just Google the artist, and typically they're going to have a website or they're going to have a social, and you can look there to see if it gives any additional information. And if you really, really are worried about AI and you are on the fence about an image, you can message here. She's on Instagram and Facebook. Message her. Hey, can I ask you a question? How do you use AI in your images, and how do you use it? Okay, if you really want to avoid AI. Now, AI to me is the lesser of the two evils here. Okay, the big thing is in my opinion, the big thing is if a company is selling licensed artwork or not. Okay, so let's explore licensing. So here, Claudia McKinney has authorized DAC to use all of these images. In return, DAC says we are going to give you a percentage of the sales or a flat rate per piece, however they do it. Oh, I didn't realize she did this apothecary shop. I really like that one. I have it actually. Anyway, I digress. Um, she is going to benefit from them selling her images. Okay, so the way I think of licensing is Claudia McKinney is going to work tomorrow and she's going to get paid. If DAC were to not license these pieces and just sell them anyhow, tomorrow she's going to work and she's not getting paid. How many of you would go to work knowing that you're not going to get paid? And Claudia is not getting paid well. She's getting maybe a couple percent of each sale or a flat fee of a couple dollars per sale. She's not raking in the bucks here. Okay. Um, but at least when it comes to diamond painting, she may have other outlets for her artwork that may be much more profitable. But with diamond painting, she's not making a whole heck of a lot of money here. So you really, really, really want to consider if you are going to choose to just do licensed work versus not licensed work. Now, there are also degrees to that. Let's go to Evermoment and let's see. I'm going to do a quick zoom through here. And typically, what you will see on these Chinese based sites, because copyright law is very different in China, is you are going to see, and I should have pre-planned this before I went and pulled this one up, but you are going to, chances are, see something Disney related. Let's see. Come on, give me something Disney. Disney I'm telling you right now, is not authorizing companies to do diamond paintings, except for most recently DAC. Okay. Um, Actually, let me go here. Okay, well here, Steelers. The NFL, they didn't authorize this image. No one's getting paid for that image. And I'm really falling short on the Disney here. Here we go. Wicked, the movie Wicked, they're not licensed and getting money from this image. And this is a Disney full square. It's like this stained glass window of a bunch of Disney characters. Okay. Sort of like there's um, what's his name? The little lion dude. Looks like Jasmine and what's his face over here. So pretty cool image. I'm telling you right now, Disney did not approve them to make this. Some people will say the Disney, that the NFL, that Wicked, the large movie company, they're making enough money. So I'm going to buy unlicensed artwork that represent those companies because they don't need the money anyhow. If that's your stance, fine. I get it. I get it. Okay. And you will see a lot of places will have images that deflect or depict larger, corporate type imagery. And if that's your choice to do it, more power to you. Okay. However, what you do want to really look out for is stolen artwork. And I'm going to tell you that the more and more that you shop for diamond paintings, you are going to be able to spot stolen artwork from a mile away. So let's go. Let's see, did I have an example on Evermoment? Now, I will say that Evermoment, despite the fact that I like the quality of their paintings, the canvas, the drills, what have you, they do periodically have some stolen artwork on their site. And I'm just doing a quick perusal here, see if anything jumps out at me. Um, and perhaps you've seen something that I'm scrolling through, but obviously, there's a specific type of painting that I draw my eye and that I pay attention to. Let's take a look at this one. I mean, this is pretty innocuous, a beach, sunset, sunrise, whichever. Utilize your Google Lens image search or whatever the image search is on the browser that you use. So I'm going to go into Google Lens and I'm going to see what comes up here. Walmart has it, not a big deal. Beyond Hannah's Gate mural. Well, wait a minute. This just says seaside scenery. Let's go back. Let's go into this. This actually has a title, Beyond Hannah's Gate. And if it has a title, it probably has an artist associated with it. So we can come back out and more mural. Here it's on Amazon. Okay. Um, Here's a diamond painting, general diamond painting link. But you see, you can sort of peel back the onion to see if this image is stolen or not. Now, in this instance, I see it being used for murals. I see it being used for door decor. Um, but I don't necessarily see an artist associated with any of these. So in this instance, perhaps this is a AI product that you can't license AI products because they're not, people can't copyright protect them or anything because they're not true creations of theirs. They're a computer creation. Um, Perhaps this is a image like because this was uh, you know tagged as belonging to Walmart. Maybe Walmart paid to have this made. Okay. Who knows? Just because they made it doesn't mean that they're necessarily the artist. So even Evermoment has some potentially repurposed art. Okay. In that instance, that was just repurposed. I don't think I would have a big problem with a repurposed image like that. Um, but there are definitely sometimes images that are straight up stolen. Let's look at this store. This is a new store to me, DP Clubs. And I saw a creator mention this, and I came to the site and I started scrolling through. This looks in that this looks familiar, but maybe I just have C on the brain, so I'm gonna not worry about that. Kansas City Chiefs, I'm telling you, they didn't authorize that. NFL did not authorize the Raiders either. But again, if you're cool with that, let's keep moving. I recognize this piece. Let's do a Google search. Let me get a bigger image here. Google search. Search on Google Lens. Okay. It's available on Amazon. Paint some way. Pinterest, SoundCloud, Amazon again. What I'm looking for is an artist website. Pinterest, I don't know if that would be the artist or let's look, or the person who maybe just pinned it. Wallpapers, Scott. Oh, that's not the same image. Let's see. So I'm looking for like an artist website, or I'm looking for a company that I know has licensed artwork. And lo and behold, whoever this is, Kuching Kishol or something, if we come down and come over here, right here, that is a piece of their art. And I'm telling you right now that this company is not able to sell this for $12.79 and pay an artist appropriately for this image. So this is a stolen piece of artwork. So that's where the ethics come in. Are you going to support stealing of artwork? And I'm going to tell you, if you ever talk to an artist, befriend an artist, if you have an artist in your family, you're not going to do it because you know how hard it is to be an artist. But also consider, matter of fact, let's go back to the main page here and see if I did. Here's another one. This is a Mandy Manzano. Mandy Manzano has a very distinct style. I know that she has this image somewhere. That it was either licensed on another site somewhere. Let me go to the next page, see what else we may find here. Like to find some. Here we go. Here we go. This is a Spangler. Randall Spangler is the guy who does these little dragon dudes, the draglings, I think he calls it. So for $11.79, he is not getting paid for this. Now, what I will also point out is companies, what they do a lot. Let me see if this would still pull it up. They will crop larger pictures and call it their own, and it's really not. So here we go. Immediately comes up as Randall Spangler, a little bit of magic, Diamond Art Club. This happens to be the entire image, so this is even worse. But here, Randall Spangler is getting compensated by this because it's $47, and we know that that's probably going to cover his licensing fee. However, let's also consider, we know DAC has really good qualities. Your canvas is going to be great. Your glue is going to be great. Your drills are going to be great. And let's look at the size. This is a 49 0.6 by 49.6, so a 50 by 50. What are they offering? 40 by 40. Is that a big difference? No, but think about the Christmas tree that we looked at. You're going to lose some of the crispness in this image. And lo and behold, well, first of all, it's big enough to go over a council table. No, it's not 40 by 40. That's 16 inches by 16 inches. I don't think that would be a balanced look. But I'm looking here for a render. Let's see. Here's the render. Okay, a lot of places don't provide a render. But let's look at this render. And let's look at this render. Look at the difference. Let's focus on, and I even look at the other one. Let's focus on this title, The Little Book of Magic. You can read it. And this ball has, excuse me, some type of dot on it or some type of disease, perhaps. I don't know. It looks like maybe organisms. Let's go back to the other site. What is that word? I can sort of get that is little, and I can sort of get that this is magic, but what does that say? And this looks even more just like a disease cell, okay? Look at the blue book here, okay? Do you see anything there? And look at his face, look at his hat. Let's go back to the other render. Oh, his hat has a star on it. His eyes are actually a little bit of blue and white. Oh, there's a crest on the side of this book. So not only is this other company stealing this artwork, but they're offering it in a size that is not showing off the image as well as it could be shown. Okay. Here's this one, Vintage Goddess. So there is a number of images, a whole bunch of images actually, that are in public domain. So let me explain this really quick because I don't want you thinking these are unlicensed works. But this is, I believe I've seen this in old masters painting. So what I'm talking about is Van Gogh, Degas, the painters from years and years and years ago. This is probably a crop of one of those images. Those are referred to typically as old masters. There's actually an event called Old Masters that celebrates this type of artwork. But what this means is this painting is so old that any type of copyright that was on it has fallen off. Typically, I think it's 70 years. Around there. I think the year, like, yeah, I think it's 70-ish years or something. I would have to Google it. But what that means is diamond painting companies can use these images free of charge. And they can do whatever they want with them for the most part. Okay. So if it's in the public domain, they can do whatever. They can crop it, they can put it in whatever size, whatnot. What I would encourage you to do is if you could again do, actually, let's do a Google search and see. Am I not clicking it appropriately? Why isn't this working? Search with Google Lens. Let's just see what comes up here. All right, so they call it Vintage Goddess. Yep, here we go. Nope, not that one. Come on. Here, what is this? The Soul of the Rose is a painting by John William Waterhouse. And there's the image, The Soul of the Rose. So John Williams, and you can see it is a crop because it's a much thinner image. But this image is painted in 1908. So it is well out of copyright status. It's in the public domain. This is not stolen artwork. Okay. Um, but again, is 30 by 90 really the appropriate size to give the detail that this image should have? I don't know. I would have to compare, maybe look to see if other stores have it and what size they're offering it in and make an assumption that way. Or again, reach out to the company and say, hey, can I get the render of this image, please? And if they refuse to give you a render, turn around and walk away because you should know what you're buying. Let me go back here one more time. This is, I think this is Michael Gelina is the artist. And again, look at, they're saying this takes up an entire wall in your house. Meanwhile, it's 16 inches by 32 inches. That's not a whole wall unless you live in a very, very, very small house. Let's go ahead and take a look here. Zazzle, eBay. We have an artist website. Michael Gelina. I think this was the image. There's the image. For $16.79, she's not getting compensated for this. Now, I can also tell you that a lot of Michael Gelina's items are on Diamond Art Club. Like they have some of her images. Here's the image from Heaven and Earth Designs. So Heaven and Earth Designs is a company that primarily provides cross-stitch patterns. So they do just exactly what DAC does, except they take the image and they turn it into a cross-stitch pattern. So let's see. Where did she go? Why did you switch the image on me? Let's see what size. Is that the same one? Yes, it is. So it's this one. So let's see what size this is. Go back. This is finished design 75 wide by 324 high. So is this inches or stitches? I'm not super familiar with how exactly they lay out sizes, but let's go to DAC Micah. Is that how she spells it? No. So here, this is like the type of quick Micah MY. This is the type of sort of quick research that you can do. Still not it. Micah. Don't autocorrect it. Here we go. So let's see if she has that one, or if DAC has that one. That's pretty close. Let's see how big this is. I mean, it's the same shape, right? This is a 56 by 112. 40 by 80. Is this going to turn out really well? No. Is there a render that we can see? No. Is it big enough to fit on a wall? No. So you get what I'm saying here. I want you to know what you're buying so you're not disappointed or you're not horrifically surprised. Like, for example, if you aren't paying attention to sizes and it happens to be a ginormous canvas and all of a sudden this thing shows up and it's like your second diamond painting and your first one was like 20 by 20 and this is like 80 by 175, you're going to be like, holy crap, what did I do? So it can go both ways. It can be too small or too big. Size matters in diamond painting. Okay. It matters with what you're comfortable with working on. Maybe it matters with what your workspace is. And it definitely matters when it comes to the quality of the image. So licensing, my personal opinion with licensing is I will like do an image that I can't find attributed to anybody because chances are it's AI or something like that. So if I'm on these budget sites, I'll look, I may get this monkey or baboon or gorilla. It's gorilla. Um, if I like gorillas, I may get this, and I probably know enough to get a larger size. Uh, $72. Okay, I'll pay that because I like the image. Okay, I've Google searched this. This isn't from anybody. It's probably AI. I'm okay with doing this. However, I probably wouldn't advertise it on my channel because I don't want to put out there that, hey, go get these random images and stuff because I want to promote artists. Um, in this instance, not only am I never showing this canvas from this company on my channel, I'm not even shopping at this channel because they steal artwork and they represent the artwork in lesser quality than it should be, and they don't compensate the artist. And I want to stress there is a difference between $16.79 for stolen art. Is that a budget canvas? Yes, but then look at this one. This is not stolen art, and it's $15.79. Um, this may or may not be. It sort of looks like. I'll just do one more quick search here. I sort of have an artist in mind, but I'm not sure. Um, I'm not seeing anything come up right away. So let's just assume for the time being that I'm not finding any artists for this. So is this a budget canvas I would do? Absolutely. Okay. But I would not buy it from this company because they steal artwork. So as a recap, size matters. You get what you pay for. You want to make sure you are looking at the sizes and if they're appropriately, however they're listed, whether it's in inches or if in centimeters. You want to know if it's square or round because that will make a bit of a difference. Full or partial if that's an issue for you. And you want to make sure that you are using licensed artwork or something that's 100% AI because AI can't be licensed, so no one is getting gypped out of a day at work. So I hope this is maybe giving you an idea of things to look for when shopping for diamond paintings. One little quick thing, on like a site like Michael's by Make Market is the one who made this image. Okay, they have in-house artists that probably made this image. So the fact that this isn't attributed to an artist, but it's like attributed to a company, this is legitimate art as well. So I hope this has helped. If you have any other additional questions about things to consider when buying diamond paintings, please put them down in the comments below and I'll do my best to get back to you in a timely manner. Otherwise, just remember there is no wrong way to diamond paint unless you are doing stolen artwork. But you do you. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.